Ang mga pananaw at opinyon ng pag-uulat ng mag-uulat sa programang ito ay hindi ang pangunahing posisyon o pahayag ng pamumunuan ng organisasyong ito. The views and opinions expressed in this live report are those of the presenter and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the management of this organization. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Editorial. Today is Wednesday, April 6, 2022. I am Carlos Miguel Kanahashi, your host for today, and together with me is Sir Mark Paulo Betita as my technical supervisor, and we're broadcasting simultaneously on InkluRadio and to be viewed on the next day on the Hands in Inclusion Philippines YouTube channel. We shall commence our presentation in just a moment, and we will be back after our commercials. Now this.
Meron akong pangarap para sa aking pamilya, para sa aking kapwa, at para sa bayan. Kahit mahirap, kahit masakit, mahal ko kayong lahat. Kahit anong mangyari, ikaw, ako, tayo. Ating isisigaw sa mundo. Inklusibong may tatag, angat buhay itatahak. Matapang pa rin tayo. Ang tropa, hindi nang iiwan. Ang senyas, isang instrumento. Ilang beses matumba, tayo huling baba. Luman ang ating pinagaling. Tayo ay muling liliwan. Para sa pangarap, para sa pamilya, at para sa bayan. Tayo ang ida. Tuloy ang inclusion.
Okay, welcome back to Editorial. This afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, we will discuss to you about World Health Day. When we say World Health Day, ladies and gentlemen, what does this mean? Why do we need to celebrate this event? So without further ado, here now is our topic, World Health Day. Sir Mark, can you present our slides, please? Thank you. Okay. So our topic for today is about World Health Day. Next slide, please. So what is World Health Day, ladies and gentlemen? So, well, first of all, World Health Day is an event when we celebrate this throughout the world on April 7 every year. The purpose of this is to have attention towards the importance of global health, and this is done through the leadership of the World Health Organization. Next slide, please. What is the essence of this event? To increase life expectancy, to add good health to the lives of people, and to promote healthier living habits, to avoid any health-related issues, to prevent and cure from the vector-borne diseases and travelers from other countries. WHO supports various travel authorities and health authorities on global basis to promote and enhance the research. Next slide, please. What are the objectives of this event? To provide detailed knowledge of getting prevented from various diseases and their complications, to promote self-care among people, to motivate the worldwide health authorities to make their own efforts in creating the healthy environments in our country, to protect families living in the disease vulnerable areas, to teach travelers and send them messages about how to be protected from the vector-borne diseases while traveling. Next slide, please. So according to our provision in the 1987 Philippine Constitution, it states there, the state shall protect and promote the right of health of the people and instill health consciousness among them. In layman's term, we need to protect us from sicknesses, including epidemics, development, of the country. Next slide, please. What are the three important laws that promote healthcare in our country? First is the Universal Healthcare Law. We have Republic Act 11332, or the Law on Reporting Communicable Diseases, and the Quarantine Act of 2004. Next slide, please. So, in the Universal Healthcare Act, it was signed last February 20, 2009, under the leadership of the soon-to-be the outgoing President, Rodrigo Duterte. It mandates the institutionalization of health technology assessment as a fair and transparent priority setting mechanism that shall be recommended to the DOH and to PhilHealth for the development of policies and programs, regulation, and the determination of a range of entitlements such as drugs, medicines, pharmaceutical products, other devices, procedures, and services. So this law, ladies and gentlemen, this law is about universal health care, wherein we need to provide with healthy living conditions, protect from hazards and risks that could affect their health. That's why every Filipino shall be granted eligibility to access to health care in order for us to stay healthy and also to avail the benefits as well, especially from PhilHealth as well. And according and membership into the program can be done as direct contributors and indirect contributors, especially to PhilHealth, which is also part of our necessary expenses as well for the employees. This is part of the benefits as well. And that's why the DOH, PhilHealth, and other government agencies should have incentives to reward health facilities that provide better service quality, efficiency, and equity. And DOH should strengthen national efforts to provide a comprehensive and coordinated approach to health development. And also to make sure that we need to show consciousness as well. Next slide, please. So this law, which is what we call as Republic Act 11332, which is commonly called as the Mandatory Reporting of Notifiable Diseases and Events of Public Health Concern Act. This law, ladies and gentlemen, is about to strengthen disease surveillance capability of Department of Health and to promote and also to promote the stop of epidemics and outbreaks in our country. The Philippine government recognized epidemics and other public health emergencies as threats to public health and national security, which could affect the social, economic, and political functions of the state. This law took effect last July 16, 2019. That's a year before the COVID-19 pandemic. This is what we're currently happening right now since that almost 2 years ago. Because the COVID-19 pandemic started to rear its head in late 2019, just before the close of the 2010 era. Just in time for this pandemic, early 2019, this law was passed. The Republic Act 11332 was enacted and to replace the law on reporting communicable diseases. In the government's fight against COVID-19, it is important that patients faithfully disclose relevant information to healthcare workers. To encourage this faithful disclosure, patients must be assured that their information shall be protected and kept private. Next slide, please. This law, ladies and gentlemen, mandates the cooperation of everyone in a public health crisis. This is our contribution. Think of our frontliners who sacrificed their lives on the line while your simple but important role in this pandemic. When an individual does not self-quarantine, he or she may be liable under Section 9 for the non-cooperation of persons and entities that should report or to respond to notifiable diseases or health events of public health concern. The penalty with the violation is 20,000 pesos to 50,000 pesos, 1 month to 6 months imprisonment at the discretion of the court. Ladies and gentlemen, that's why we need to show that, as we know, this is also part of the efforts to flatten the epidemic curve in our country, and that's why we need to follow the rules from that law. Because actually, since the start of the pandemic, to be honest, there are a lot of ECQ violators who violated that, not only that law, but also the Bayanihan to Heal as One Act and the provision on the revised penal code. RA 11332 it was passed just even before the COVID-19 pandemic happened. Quarantine violators may face imprisonment under that law. And that's why we that's why because of this, since 2020, uh, this we need to abide that by that law because this is not done not for everyone, and that's why we have to use our common sense and also to think of our frontliners as well because our frontliners always work hard, especially during this time of the pandemic. And that's why we, as Filipinos, we need to abide by the laws of, of this. Because according to, uh, we are asking that this, according to this law, asking for the discipline and the cooperation of all of us as Filipinos so the situation will not worsen. Because that's why because of this, according to the provision of according to the Joint Task Force COVID Shield, there are some a lot of quarantine violators, and this led to some people actually violated that law. RA 11332 and also the Bayanihan to Heal as One Act and Article 151 of the revised penal code. Ladies and gentlemen, as according to then the PNE chief Archie Gamboa, he says that based on the pronouncements on the uh, based on the provisions of according to this at the time, according to Archie Gamboa, the former PNP chief at the time when the COVID-19 pandemic happened, He stated that based on the pronouncements issued by Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles, the spokesperson of the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases. There will be no more warnings for ACQ violators. Instead, arrest and inquest procedures will be applied for the cases of the violation of Republic Act 11332, Republic Act 11469, and Article 151 of the Revised Penal Code. And that's why during this time of the pandemic, and as we have the time, the safest at that went almost 2 years when the pandemic started at that time, the safest place at that time is at home. We can't not do this alone. As we now ourselves here in this new normal, because this is not only for us as the vaccines has arrived in our country. That's why we need to follow that law. We need to cooperate with the health authorities and also our frontliners, ladies and gentlemen. Next slide, please. This one, the Quarantine Law of 2004. It took effect on March 19, 2004, and the aftermath of the 2002 to 2004 SARS-CoV-1 epidemic. According to this law, these rules and regulations are promulgated to protect and promote the health of the people by ensuring maximum security against the introduction of spread of communicable diseases, especially public health emergencies of international concern from countries, from foreign countries to our country, and also to avoid us to protect as well public health with the need to avoid disruption of trade and travel. The Bureau of Quarantine spearheaded the prevention of public health emergencies of international concern from foreign countries in the Philippines. The penalty for the violation is 10,000 pesos to 50,000 pesos, 1 year imprisonment, or both at the discretion of the court. Any vessel or aircraft shall forfeit to the Bureau of Quarantine a fine of 100,000 to 500,000 pesos. Next slide, please. So, what are the agencies that we need in order to promote healthcare in our country? First, we have DOH, or the Department of Health, PhilHealth, the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Disease, Food and Drug Administration, the National Nutrition Council, and the World Health Organization. DOH, or the Department of Health, is responsible for ensuring access to basic public health services to all Filipinos through quality health care. PhilHealth ensures a national health insurance program for all. The Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Disease is organized with the executive branch of the Government of the Philippines to respond to affairs concerning emerging infectious diseases in our country. The Food and Drug Administration is responsible for licensing, monitoring, and regulation of cosmetics, drugs, foods, household hazardous products, medical devices, electromagnetic radiation emitting devices, pesticides, tobacco-related products, and vaccines for safety, efficacy, and quality in our country. The National Nutrition Council is an agency wherein we need to have nutrition planning, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation, and surveillance using state-of-the-art technology and approaches. And lastly, the international organization under the United Nations, which is responsible for international public health, is the World Health Organization. They're the ones who monitor all the diseases, including the declarations of public health emergency for international concern and or a pandemic, depending on the situation. Next slide, please. World Health Day is a global health awareness day celebrated every year on April 7 under the leadership of the World Health Organization. According to our Constitution, the 1987 Philippine Constitution, the state shall protect and promote the right to health of the people and to ensure and instill health consciousness among them. So that's why we celebrate World Health Days because we want for us to be free from sicknesses and harm, especially epidemics. Because as you may know, we are still in this pandemic and we are now adjusting ourselves in the life in our new normal until everyone is already fully vaccinated and boosted. And also, we have to make sure that we have to follow basic health etiquettes like washing of hands, good hygiene and sanitation, general cleaning and disinfection as well, drink vitamins, exercise, eat healthy food as well, and also to drink water and to be rehydrated ourselves. And also to remember the respiratory etiquette, the cough and sneeze etiquette as well, and other things, especially during this pandemic where social distancing is involved. And also to get vaccinated, especially the vaccines for flu and other types of diseases as well. And that concludes our topic. Next slide, please. Let us have the time for our election 2022 updates, which is Pulso 2022. Updates on the May 9, 2022 national elections. Our featured news for today is at Ranch Antipolo Rally, Lenny Robredo seeks help for flooded Daraitan in Panay. Vice President Lenny Robredo's campaign rally in Antipolo yesterday was drenched by continuous rainfall from morning until early evening. During Robredo's speech, she called on supporters to help locals affected by the continuous rain. She said, kanina ko nasa likod ako, minomonitor ko, may mga lugar sa dito sa Rizal na bumabaha na. Yung nakikita ko po kanina sa Dainitan sa Tanay. Pagtulungan natin yung mga apektado ng bahang ito. Robredo did not win the vice presidential election in Rizal back in 2016, but instead, despite her loss here, her immediate and active response to disasters in the area as part of her resibo of work during her 6 years as vice president. Bawat sakuna, alam ito ng mga bisita natin sa Rodriguez, sa San Mateo, sa Cainta pagbagyo o sunog o namang sakuna, halos po kami po nagpagkaaga namin pumunta dito para sa gumawa ng relief operations. Roberto told the crowd. Roberto promised the Rizal crowd the same service if elected president. She said, ito ang ipinapangako namin ni Senator Kiko sa inyo. Isang gobyernong tutugon agad sa pangangailangan ninyo, isang gobyerno na hindi niyo na kailangan hanapin. Isang gobyerno na hindi niyo na kailangan magpakaawa na tulungan kayo kasi oras na kailangan ninyo, nandiyan agad kami. A low-pressure area combined with the shear line of the Intertropical Convergence Zone brought rain across the Philippines yesterday. Heavy flooding and landslides were reported in parts of Mindanao as bad weather expected to persist until the weekend. Robredo urged upon the audience to work together to help those affected by the weather. Ganun naman ang pusong kakamping, di ba? Nagtutulungan kapag nangangailangan, she said. And that concludes our election 2022 updates. Next slide, please. Let us have the time to get to know our candidates for the May 9, 2022 elections. Next slide, please. Our featured candidate for today is Leo Olarte. He will be running for senator this year in the May 9, 2022 elections. He's a lawyer, a medical doctor. He was the 91st president of the Philippine Medical Association, serving from 2013 to 2014, and the organization's current legal affairs chief. So this May 9, 2022, let's vote wisely. Next slide, please. Now is the time for our announcements. So next slide, please. As part of our continuing efforts to support our organization, we urge everyone, including our viewers, to purchase our products in the Hands in Inclusion Philippines online shop. So the products that we are selling are the following: our One Inclusion Nation t-shirts and our tote bags. For the One Inclusion Nation t-shirts, sizes are ranged between small to triple XL. Prices are ranged between 325 to 375 pesos with the colors of white, blue, pink, red, green, yellow, mustard, gold, black. For the tote bags, it's available in black, white, pink, yellow, and blue. Prices are range between 190 to 200 pesos. If you want to buy, kindly message us. Remember, payment first before purchase. Payment first before purchase. I repeat. Our mode of payment is GCash and Union Bank, and we're accepting payments as well from these two. And also, we will deliver via GoGo Express and LBC Courier Company. Next slide, please. The Health and Inclusion Philippines online shop is temporarily closed for areas under Alert Level 5, but it will be continuing to serve in areas under Alert Level 1 to 4 only. Its operating hours are from 12 midnight to 11:59 in the evening. For a full list of orders, please visit the Hands in Inclusion Philippines Facebook page or email us at hands-in-inclusion@gmail.com. Next slide, please. We at Hands in Inclusion Philippines, ladies and gentlemen, needs your help. To be honest, many of us have been struggling with our financial problems in our organization. So regardless, no matter what, it doesn't really matter if the amount is smaller or larger. This would be a great big help to us. How can you do this? Scan and donate using GCash or Union Bank as well. So ladies and gentlemen, please help Hands in Inclusion Philippines for its fundraising project. We're aiming to raise funds in the organization. Let us have the time to rebuild to have a bigger, better, and a bolder organization. Proceeds from the sales in the online shop and for your donations will go to us and Hands in Inclusion for the formality, for the expenses, the financial aid of the members due to the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as the SEC registration of Hands in Inclusion Philippines in the future. So guys, for those who did this, you'll be glad you did, and thank you for your continuous generosity and for your support to the organization in advance. Next, before we go on to our next slide, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to purchase the bracelets of Ate Lady Jane Eleazar Florese, you may message her on Elgin Accessories, or you may contact her through WhatsApp, or you may message her on Messenger. Next slide, please. If you have problems with your Apple or Windows computer, if it's a laptop or a desktop, if you have problems with your Android or iOS phones and tablet, if you want to download music, games, and movies, Sir Mark Paulo Betita is here to assist you. How can you do it? You may message him on Mark PC Laptop Repair Services. You may message him on Facebook, Hansen for Facebook, Mark Paulo Betita, or you may contact him at 0947-355-4759. Next slide, please. We have some events coming up for the month of April in Best Buddies Philippines. This Friday, on April 8th, will be Summer Salad Sillies. On April 9, we'll be having the summer series of raising frequencies with teacher Lay Santa Maria of the Atma Prema Wellbeing Group on I Can Set Healthy Boundaries on April 9. After the Holy Week break, it is Buddies, We Friends on April 22. On April 23, I can find lessons in all my experiences with teacher Lay of Atma Prema. April 29, Buddies Be Friends. And April 30, I can focus and center myself. So if you want to join these events, follow Best Buddies Philippines on Facebook and Instagram. Send them a message and they will send you the registration form and the link as well. Remember, Best Buddies Philippines is a non-profit, non-denominational, and a non-political organization. We support for clean and fair elections and do not endorse any political party or candidate. As members of the Best Buddies Philippines community, please refrain from endorsing a candidate during the activities of Best Buddies Philippines. In Best Buddies Philippines, make a friend, be a friend. Next slide, please. If you are hungry and if you want to crave for your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, or for your merienda, then you may want to order some of the foods from the Sobra Comfort Food Restaurant. For the Sobra Comfort Food Restaurant, the menus are for the rice bowls, or rather, for the all-day breakfast, we have Tapa Sobra, Chicken Tocino, corned beef brisket, homemade spam, and beef salpicao. Sizes are ranged between solo to large. Prices are ranged between 265 pesos to 1,550 pesos. Next slide, please. For our rice trays, beef bulgogi, beef shawarma, beef udon, pork crackling bits, pork belly burnt ends, charred chicken, and boneless fried chicken. Sizes are ranged between solo to large, and prices are ranged between 265 pesos to 1,700 pesos. Next slide, please. For our sandwiches, we have the fried chicken sandwich, pulled pro sandwich, corned beef sandwich, and chicken tocino sandwich. Sizes are ranged between solo, regular, large, and box of fours. Prices are ranged between 320 pesos to 1,540 pesos. Next slide, please. For our pasta, we have mac and cheese and penne and gorgonzola. Sizes are ranged between solo to large. Prices are ranged between 290 pesos to 1,350 pesos. Next slide, please. For our steps on how you can order, head over to the Sobrang Comfort Food website, select the dishes you want to order, choose between pickup or delivery, pay conveniently through any of the safe integrated payment methods, and your order is confirmed. Expect updates via text or email. Next slide, please. For our, if you want to crave for something Korean, then you want to order some of the foods from the Kuya Korea restaurant. The menus are for our rice bowls, beef bibimbap, beef bulgogi, pork samgyup, and K-pop chicken. Prices are range between 195 to 220 pesos. For the chicken, boneless popcorn chicken, sizes range between half to whole. Prices range between 235 to 435 pesos with the flavors of gochu, ganjang, chicken, and K-pop. If you want to order there, please check the Kuya Korea website for your orders as well. Next slide, please. Lastly, follow Hansen Inclusion Philippines on our social media pages and its digital platforms as well. It will be appreciated for you guys to do this as early as now. Follow us on Facebook, Hansen Inclusion PH, InkluRadyo, InkluSports, InkluNihan, InkluGaming, and the online shop. Instagram, Hansen Inclusion PH, Twitter, HNI Pilipinas, Kumu, HNI Philippines, and subscribe to the Hands in Inclusion Philippines YouTube channel. So guys, for those who did this, thank you very much as well. Next slide, please. Now's the time for our shoutouts and greetings. To Lady Jane Florese, good evening to you and thank you for watching. Uh, For our birthday greetings, we like to greet happy birthday to Emma Rojas, the Executive Director of the National Council on Disability Affairs. From Sir Mark Betita, shout outs to Lady Jane Florese, ang Tropa PWD, Annalyn Lopez, Sayuri Garcia, Cherry Anchel Aquino, Jason Valencia, the Palmera Boys, and Shell Aquino. For me, shout outs and greetings to my family, to Hansen Inclusion Philippines, especially to Roy Lan, Marlang, to Best Buddies Philippines, especially to Michelle Aventajado, Best Buddies Benilde as well, to Sir Martin Romero, to other PWD organizations, to my high school and college friends as well, to those, aside from those who are celebrating their birthdays today, those who are celebrating their anniversaries, happy anniversary as well, and to those who are watching, it may be a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. I hope you guys are in a good mood. But if not, you may use this time to improve on your mental health and your well-being as well. To those who are watching me on InkluRadyo, thank you very much. If you missed this episode, it will be premiered on the next day on the Hands in Inclusion Philippines YouTube channel for your viewing pleasure. Next slide, please. Let us have our words for the day. That's why the reason why we're discussing this topic, ladies and gentlemen, is about we need to promote health and safety is our top priority. Prevention is better than cure. That's why we need to make sure that we need to be strong, be healthy, and also to be free from any sicknesses. So dapat magpalakas tayo. Lalo na ang improve natin ang ating mental health. Kumain na sapat, matulog ng sapat, ehersisyo, meditate. And that's why on this World Health Day, we need to make sure that we need to stay strong and healthy, especially at this time that we are in a pandemic. Follow the health protocols during the pandemic, like washing of hands, good health and good hygiene and sanitation, social and physical distancing, drink vitamin C and zinc, exercise as well and get sunshine. Um, Eat healthy fruits and vegetables and other proteins as well. And also to get vaccinated as well and boosted as well. Okay. Sir Mark, can you disable the share screen please and open cam as we prepare for us to wrap up for our show for today? Okay. That's a wrap for editorial for Wednesday, April 6, 2022. I'll be back again tomorrow at the same time for the Inclusive Report. On behalf of Hands in Inclusion and InkluRadyo, I am your host, Carlos Miguel Kanahashi. Together with me is Sir Mark Betita as my technical supervisor. May awang Diyos, makakaraos po tayo. Sama-sama tayong lalaban para sa pangarap, pamilya at bayan hanggang sa ating tatak para sa One Inclusion Nation. Muli, magandang gabi at pagpalain nawa tayo ng buong may kapal. May the mighty God bless us all. Ngayong ikalima ng anibersaryo, makatotohanan ng inklusyon, angat buhay ang solusyon. Sa HNI, posible. Pilipinas, God first. HNI, God first. Thank you very much for watching. Have a blessed evening to all and a goodbye for now. Bye-bye and thank you. Thank you, Sir Mark, as well for your time.